The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was never quiet. Hundreds of species gathered here every cycle to argue, trade, and make laws. But today, something strange happened. The hall fell silent. Stood at her post near the back wall. She was the human ambassador to the council. She had held this job for 3 years now. Most days were boring. She listened to aliens argue about trade routes and mining rights. But today was different. The message had come from the Empire. It played on the massive screen at the center of the hall. A tall creature with gray skin and 4 arms spoke in a cold voice. His name was Malik, and he was the High Commander of the military. "The Empire declares war on the species known as humans," Malik said. "Their planet Earth will be taken. Their people will serve us. This is not a request. This is a fact." The screen went dark. For 5 seconds nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then the hall exploded into chaos. Watched as hundreds of aliens jumped from their seats. Some screamed. Some laughed. Some simply stared with their mouths open. She had never seen the council react like this before. Elder was the first to reach the center platform. He was old, even by his species standards. His blue skin had faded to gray over the centuries. He had seen empires rise and fall. He had watched entire species disappear from the galaxy. And right now, he looked terrified. "This is madness," said, his voice shook. "They have lost their minds." Ambassador from the Kel Federation pushed her way to the platform. She was small, with large black eyes that never blinked. "They cannot be serious. No one attacks Earth. No one." "Perhaps they do not know," said. "Perhaps they truly do not understand." Walked slowly toward the platform. Every eye in the hall turned to watch her. She was not tall. She was not strong. She looked weak compared to most species here. But the way the council members moved away from her told a different story. Ambassador said carefully, We are sorry. The council had nothing to do with this decision. They acted alone." Nodded, her face showed nothing. "I understand." "You must warn your people," said quickly. "The fleet is large. They have thousands of ships. Perhaps your people can run, find somewhere to hide." Almost smiled, almost. "Thank you for your concern." A young delegate from a minor world raised his hand. He was new to the council. He had only been here for 2 months. "I do not understand," he said. "Why is everyone so afraid? The humans are a young species. They have only been in space for a short time. They have conquered dozens of worlds. Why would attacking Earth be different?" The hall went quiet again. Older delegates looked at each other. Some shook their heads. Some covered their faces with their hands. Sighed deeply. "You are new here. You do not know the stories." "What stories?" Stepped forward. 300 years ago, the Kelp Collective tried to invade Earth. They sent 50 warships. None came back. Not one. We found pieces of them floating in space for years afterward. Another delegate spoke up. 200 years ago, the Meyer swarm thought humans would be easy food. They sent 1,000,000 soldiers to Earth. The humans killed them all in 6 days. 6 days. 100 years ago, continued, my own people tried to take Earth's moon. We thought it would be simple. We had better technology, better weapons, better ships. He paused. We lost 4 fleets, 4 entire fleets. The humans did not just defend. They chased us back to our home world. They could have destroyed us. They chose not to. The young delegate looked confused. But the humans seemed so weak, so small. Finally spoke. Her voice was calm and clear. "We are small. We are weak. Compared to most species here, our bodies are nothing special. We cannot breathe fire. We cannot survive in space. We cannot regenerate lost limbs." She paused. "But we do have something special." "What?" the young delegate asked. "We never give up," said. "Ever. When something tries to kill us, we do not run. We do not surrender. We learn. We adapt. We fight back. And we do not stop fighting until our enemy is dust." The hall was completely silent now. "Your species evolved on peaceful worlds," continued. Worlds with stable climates and plenty of food. Our world tried to kill us every single day. The weather tried to kill us. The animals tried to kill us. Disease tried to kill us. We fought our own planet for 1,000,000 years, and we won. Nodded slowly. This is why the Council has a rule, an unofficial rule that every species knows. Do not attack Earth. Do not threaten Earth. Do not even look at Earth the wrong way. The know this rule said, they must know it. Why would they ignore it? Pride said simply, they think they are the strongest species in the galaxy. They have never lost a war. They think the stories about Earth are just myths, lies told by weak species. She shook her head. They will learn the truth soon enough. Leaned forward. Ambassador, what will your people do? Will you ask the Council for help? Looked at him. For the first time she smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a predator who had just spotted prey. No, she said, we will not need help, but I suggest the Council stay far away from Earth for the next few weeks. Things are going to get messy. She turned and walked toward the exit. The crowd parted before her like water. Behind her whispered too, may the stars have mercy on them. Shook her head. The stars will not help them, nothing will. And somewhere in the darkness of space, the fleet flew toward Earth. They did not know what waited for them. They did not know that they were flying toward their own destruction. But they would learn. The galaxy always learned eventually. You do not attack humanity. You do not threaten their home. Because when humans fight, they do not fight to win. They fight to make sure their enemy never fights again. The fleet moved through space like a dark cloud. 3,000 warships, each one massive and covered in weapons. At the center flew the command ship, the Eternal Victory. It was the largest ship they had ever built. Malik stood on its bridge and watched the stars pass by. How long until we reach Earth? He asked. 6 hours, High Commander, his officer replied. Our scouts report no resistance. The humans have not even sent ships to meet us. Malik laughed. It was a cold, cruel sound. Of course they haven't. They know they cannot win. Perhaps they will surrender before we even arrive. His second-in-command, a female named Aura, stepped forward. High Commander, I have been reading the reports about Earth. The stories are concerning. Stories, Malik said with disgust. Fairy tales told by cowards. The Kelp Collective was weak. The Meyer Swarm was stupid. Elders' people were old and tired. We are none of those things. We do not lose. Aura nodded, but her 4 hands trembled slightly. Yes, High Commander. Far away, on the planet Earth, a different kind of preparation was happening. General sat in the command center beneath the city of Seoul. The room was huge, filled with screens and computers and soldiers rushing back and forth. He was an old man with gray hair and calm eyes. He had fought in 3 wars during his lifetime. He had never lost. Report, he said. A young officer named stepped forward. She was 30 years old, with short black hair and a scar across her chin. The fleet will enter our solar system in approximately 5 hours. 3,000 ships confirmed. The command ship is at the center of the formation. Weapons. Standard plasma cannons, some missile systems, nothing we haven't seen before. Nodded slowly, and our defenses. Another officer, a man named, pulled up a display on the main screen. All orbital platforms are online and ready. The lunar bases have powered up their main guns. Our fleet is in position behind Mars. Ground-based artillery is standing by. Looked at the screen for a long moment, then he smiled. Good, very good. Hesitated. General, may I speak freely? Always. The Council has contacted us. They are offering to negotiate on our behalf. They think we should surrender and accept rule. They say it would save lives. Laugh softly. Save lives. Yes, I suppose it would. Slaves live long lives, don't they? Long, miserable lives working in mines and factories until they die of exhaustion. He shook his head. No, we do not surrender, we never surrender. Yes, sir. Stood and walked to the center of the room. Every soldier stopped and turned to look at him. Listen to me, he said. His voice was not loud, but it carried to every corner of the room. In a few hours, an enemy fleet will arrive in our solar system. They think they are coming to conquer us. They think we are weak. They think we will bow down and accept chains around our necks. He paused and looked at the faces of his soldiers, young faces, old faces, men and women from every nation on Earth. They are wrong, continued. For 10,000 years our ancestors fought to survive. They fought ice ages, they fought floods, they fought plagues, they fought each other. And every single time they won, not because they were the strongest, not because they were the fastest, but because they refused to give up, because they would rather die standing than live on their knees. The room was completely silent. Today we show the galaxy what that means. Today we remind the universe why Earth is feared, not because we are cruel, not because we are evil, but because we are human, and humans do not break. A young soldier in the back raised her fist. For Earth. The cry spread through the room like fire. For Earth, for Earth, for Earth. Nodded to your stations. Let's give these a proper welcome. 5 hours later, the fleet reached the edge of Earth's solar system. Malik stood on his bridge, arms crossed, watching the darkness of space. Scanners, he ordered. What do you see? The scanner officer worked at his station. His gray face turned a shade lighter. High Commander, I am detecting orbital platforms around Earth, many of them, and there appear to be bases on the moon. Malik frowned. How many orbital platforms? The officer swallowed hard. Approximately 800, sir. 800, Malik's voice rose. That is impossible. The humans have only been a space-faring species for 300 years. How could they build 800 military platforms? I do not know, sir, but there is more. I am detecting a fleet hiding behind the fourth planet, approximately 2,000 ships. Aura stepped forward, her face pale. High Commander, perhaps we should reconsider. No, Malik said firmly. We have come too far to turn back now. The Emperor is watching. The entire Empire is watching. We will not run from a species that still uses chemical rockets. He turned to his communications officer. Send a message to the human command. Tell them to surrender now and their deaths will be quick. Tell them resistance is pointless. The message was sent. For several minutes there was no response. Then the human reply came. A young woman's face appeared on the screen. It was. She smiled pleasantly as if she was greeting an old friend. Hello, Fleet. This is Captain of the Earth Defense Force. We received your message. We thought about it for a while, and we have a response for you. She held up a single piece of paper. On it was written one word in large letters. No. Actually, continued, we have a second response too, a bit more detailed. She put down the paper and leaned toward the camera. You have entered our solar system without permission. You have threatened our home. You have promised to enslave our people. For these crimes, you are sentenced to death. All of you. Your ships will be destroyed. Your fleet will be erased from existence. And your empire will learn the same lesson that every other empire has learned over the last 300 years. She paused and her smile grew wider. You should not have come here. You should have listened to the stories. But it's too late now. Welcome to Earth. Please enjoy your last few hours of life. The transmission ended. On the bridge of the eternal victory, nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Malik stared at the blank screen, his 4 hands clenched into fists. They dare to threaten us, he whispered. They dare. But deep in his chest, for the first time in his long military career, Malik felt something cold. Something he had never felt before. Fear. And somewhere in the darkness behind Mars, 2,000 human warships began to move. Their engines glowed like angry stars. Their weapons powered up with a sound like thunder. The hunt was about to begin. The first scout ships crossed the boundary of Earth's outer defenses at exactly midnight Earth time. There were 50 of them, fast and small, meant to test the human response. They lasted 4 seconds. On the bridge of the Eternal Victory, the scanner officer screamed, "Contact lost, all 50 scouts are gone." Malik grabbed his command chair. "What happened? Show me." The main screen flickered to life. It showed the location where the scouts had been. Now there was nothing but floating metal and fire. They were hit by something," the scanner officer said. His voice shook badly. "Some kind of beam weapon, from the direction of the gas giant planet. But that's impossible. Nothing could fire that far with that much power." Malik's jaw tightened. "Send another group, 100 ships this time, full defensive shields." The second group launched. They flew in tight formation, shields at maximum power. They lasted 6 seconds. This time the screen showed what killed them. A bright blue light, thinner than a hair but brighter than a star, swept across the formation. Every ship it touched simply vanished. Not exploded, vanished. "What is that weapon?" Malik demanded. Nobody answered, nobody knew. In the command center beneath Seoul, General watched the battle with satisfaction. "How are the orbital cannons performing?" Checked his data. "Perfectly, sir. The shields cannot block focused particle beams. They were not designed for weapons of this power level." "Good. Status of Captain's fleet." "In position and ready, awaiting your orders." "Nodded. Tell her to begin the hunt. No survivors." 2,000 kilometers behind Mars stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Soul. It was a beautiful ship, long and sleek, built for one purpose only: war. "All ships," said into her communicator, "target the main fleet. Focus fire on their command ship. Let's cut the head off the snake." The human fleet burst from behind Mars like wolves from a forest. Their engines burned bright against the darkness. Their weapons charged with deadly light. Malik saw them coming on his screen. 3,000 ships against 2,000 human ships. The numbers were in his favor, but the cold feeling in his chest grew stronger. "All ships attack formation," he commanded. "Destroy them." The two fleets met in the darkness between planets. Plasma fire lit up the void. Missiles screamed through space. Ships twisted and turned in deadly dance. At first Malik felt hope. The ships were larger. Their weapons were powerful. They began to push the human fleet back. Then the humans changed their tactics. They stopped fighting like a fleet. They started fighting like hunters. Small groups of human ships would break away, circle around, and attack from unexpected angles. They would hit weak points in the formation, destroy a few ships, and disappear before they could respond. "They're too fast," Aura reported. "Our targeting systems cannot track them." "Then fire blind," Malik screamed. "Fill the space with plasma." The ships fired in all directions. The darkness of space turned bright orange with plasma fire. It was a desperate strategy, wasteful and wild. And it did not work. The human ships danced through the fire like ghosts. They seemed to know exactly where the plasma bolts would go. They twisted and turned at impossible angles, their pilots pushing their machines to the very edge of destruction. In her cockpit, grinned as her ship rolled between two plasma bolts. "Is that the best you've got?" she whispered. Her weapons officer, a young man named Jin, called out targets. "Enemy cruiser at position 7, destroyer at position 12, battleship at position 19. "Hit them all," ordered. The Soul's main cannons fired. 3 ships exploded in quick succession. Did not even slow down. She was already looking for the next target. Across the battlefield, similar scenes played out. Human pilots flew their ships with skill and courage that they had never seen before. Some ships were destroyed, yes. Some human lives were lost. But for every human ship that fell, 10 ships died. On the Eternal Victory, Malik watched his fleet being torn apart. The cold feeling in his chest had spread through his whole body. He finally understood what it was. Terror. High Commander, Aura said quietly, we have lost 500 ships. Perhaps we should retreat. Malik wanted to say no. He wanted to fight to the last ship, but his hands were shaking too badly to give the order. Signal the fleet, he finally said. Full retreat, get us out of here. The surviving ships began to turn away. They fired their engines at full power, trying to escape the killing field. But the humans did not let them go. They're running, Jin reported. Nodded, of course they are. Signal all ships. Phase 2 begins now. Phase 2 was simple. Chase the enemy. Let none escape. The human fleet surged forward like a wave of fire. They caught the slower ships first, then the medium ships, then the fast ships. One by one, the vessels were hunted down and destroyed. On Earth, watching from the command center, General allowed himself a small smile. Send a message to the Council. Tell them the invasion has failed. Tell them Earth stands. Hesitated. Sir, the battle is not over. The command ship is still functioning. I know, said, but I want the Council to hear this news now. I want them to spread it across the galaxy. I want every species to know what happens when you threaten our home. As the message traveled through space at light speed, Malik's command ship fled toward the edge of the solar system. The Eternal Victory was damaged badly. Half its engines were dead. Its shields were failing, but it was still the fastest ship in what remained of the fleet. Malik stood at the front of his bridge, staring at the screen. Behind him, he could see the lights of his dying fleet, ships exploding, lives ending, a proud armada reduced to scattered debris. How many ships remain? He asked. His voice was hollow and empty. Aura checked the count. Tears rolled down her gray face. 217, High Commander, out of 3,000. 217. They had lost over 90% of their fleet in a single battle, in a single day, against a species they had thought was primitive and weak. Malik closed his eyes. The Council was right, the stories were true, we were fools. Behind them, the human fleet continued its pursuit. They were not tired, they were not satisfied, they wanted every last ship destroyed. And leading the hunt, her eyes cold and determined, Captain pushed her ship faster. The Soul's engine screamed in protest. She did not care. You came to enslave us, she whispered to herself. You threatened our children, our homes, our world. Her hands tightened on her controls. Now you will pay. Every single one of you will pay. The stars watched silently as the hunt continued through the cold darkness of space. The hunt lasted for 3 days. Commander led the pursuit group. His ship, though, was fast and deadly. He had trained for 20 years for a battle like this. Now, finally, his skills were being put to the test. Enemy ship detected at coordinates 479, his scanner officer reported. A cruiser. It appears to be damaged. Engines are failing. Looked at the screen. The cruiser drifted slowly through space, smoke pouring from its hull. It was no longer a threat. It was just a dying machine filled with dying soldiers. Destroy it, ordered. Some commanders might have felt mercy. Some might have offered a chance to surrender, but remembered the message Malik had sent to Earth. He remembered the promise to enslave his people, to take his world, to destroy everything he loved. No mercy, not today. The fired once. The cruiser exploded in a ball of orange fire, did not even watch it die. He was already looking for the next target. Far behind him, Lieutenant coordinated the ground-based weapons. She sat in a bunker deep beneath the Korean mountains, surrounded by screens and controls. From here, she could fire weapons that were hidden all across Earth. Artillery Team 7, target the cluster at Sector 9, she ordered. Team 12, prepare to fire on the command ship when it comes in range. The teams responded instantly. Massive cannons hidden in mountains and deserts and oceans turned toward the sky. They were weapons that no alien species knew about, weapons that humanity had built in secret over centuries. Earth was not just a planet, it was a fortress, and the had walked right into its killing field. On the bridge of the eternal victory, Malik watched his empire crumble. Every hour, more ships were destroyed. Every minute, more soldiers died. The great fleet was now just scraps of metal floating in the darkness. Aura approached him carefully. "High Commander, we have received a message from the Emperor." Malik did not turn around. "Read it." Aura's voice trembled. "The Emperor demands to know how this happened. He wants to know why our fleet is being destroyed by a primitive species. He wants to know." She stopped. "What?" Malik asked. "What does he want to know?" "He wants to know if you are ready to face the consequences of failure." Malik laughed bitterly. "The consequences, yes, I know what those are. Death, shame, my family stripped of all honor." He turned to face Aura. "But tell me, Aura, what choice did I have? The Emperor ordered this invasion. The Emperor believed the humans would be easy prey. I simply followed orders." Aura lowered her eyes. She had no answer. They both knew the truth. The Emperor would never accept blame. Someone had to be punished for this disaster, and it would not be the ruler of the Empire. "High Commander," the scanner officer called out. "Human ships approaching, 12 of them. They will be in weapon range in 4 minutes." Malik straightened his back. "Prepare for battle." "Sir, we cannot win. Our weapons are damaged. Our shields are at 15%. We have no chance." "I know," Malik said quietly. "But I do not run. I do not surrender. If I must die, I will die fighting." He drew his sword, an ancient weapon passed down through his family for generations. It was useless against spaceships, of course, but it was a symbol, a reminder of who he was. "All remaining crew to battle stations. We will make these humans pay for every life they take." The 12 human ships arrived like shadows in the night. They surrounded the eternal victory, their weapons pointed at its heart. On the lead ship, Captain studied the command vessel. It was a sad sight. The mighty ship that had entered their solar system with such pride was now just a broken shell. Fires burned along its hull. Its weapons hung silent and dead. "This is the end," said softly. "Open a channel to the ship." The communication link connected. Malik's face appeared on screen. He looked old now, tired, defeated. "Human," he said, "I know why you have come. Finish it." Studied him for a long moment. "Do you understand now? Do you finally see why the Council told you not to attack Earth?" Malik nodded slowly. "I understand. We were arrogant. We thought we were the greatest warriors in the galaxy. We thought nothing could stop us." He paused. "We were wrong." "Yes," said, "you were wrong. Your empire sent 3,000 ships to conquer our world. 200 years ago that might have been enough. 100 years ago perhaps, but you waited too long. You gave us time to prepare, time to build, time to become something you could not imagine." "What are you?" Malik asked. "What kind of species fights like this, without fear, without hesitation?" Smiled sadly. "We are survivors. Our world tried to kill us every day for 1,000,000 years. Disease, disaster, war. We fought through all of it. We buried our dead and kept moving forward. That is what humans do. We endure, we adapt, we overcome." Malik lowered his sword. "Then you have earned your victory. Kill me and be done with it." Shook her head. "No, you will live. You will return to your empire. You will tell them exactly what happened here. You will make sure that every citizen of your empire knows the truth." "The truth." That Earth is not prey, that humanity is not weak, that anyone who threatens our home will face the same fate as your fleet. Leaned forward. "And you will tell your emperor this. If they ever come to our solar system again, we will not just destroy your fleet. We will follow you back to your home world. We will burn your cities. We will tear down your empire stone by stone. Do you understand?" Malik stared at her. For a moment he saw something in her eyes that made his blood turn cold. She was not lying. She was not bluffing. If they attacked again, the humans would come for them. "I understand," he whispered. Nodded. "Good, now go. Take what remains of your fleet and leave. Do not look back. Do not slow down. And pray to whatever gods you believe in that we never meet again." The communication channel closed. On the bridge of the Eternal Victory, Malik stood alone. His crew watched him in silence. "Set course for home," he finally said. "Maximum speed." The broken fleet limped away from Earth's solar system. Of 3,000 proud warships, only 83 survived. They carried with them the bodies of their dead and the memories of their defeat. Behind them, the human fleet watched them go. No one cheered. No one celebrated. This was not a moment for joy. This was a moment for reflection. Looked at her crew. "Take us home. We have dead to bury and families to comfort." The soul turned toward Earth, its mission complete. The hunt was over. But the story was not finished. Not yet. The Galactic Council Hall had never been so crowded. Every species that could send a representative had done so. Thousands of aliens filled the great chamber, standing in the aisles and pressed against the walls. They had all come for the same reason. They wanted to see the humans. Ambassador walked through the main entrance and the crowd fell silent. She moved slowly, her footsteps echoing through the massive hall. Behind her walked General, Captain, and a small group of Earth's military leaders. Elder stood at the center platform. His blue face showed a mixture of fear and respect. "Ambassador, we are grateful that you accepted our invitation." Nodded politely. "The people of Earth wanted to address the council. We thought it was important." Important. That was a gentle way to put it. The truth was, the galaxy was terrified. News of the defeat had spread across known space in a matter of days. Every species, every empire, every federation was now asking the same question. What are the humans going to do next? Stepped onto the center platform. The massive screen behind her showed images of Earth. Blue oceans, green forests, white clouds, a beautiful world peaceful and calm. "Ladies and of the Council," began. 3 weeks ago, the Empire declared war on Earth. They sent 3,000 warships to enslave our people. They promised to take our homes, our children, our future. She paused. They failed. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Of those 3,000 ships, 83 returned home. The rest are scattered across our solar system in pieces. They learned what many species have learned over the past 3 centuries. Attacking Earth is suicide. A delegate from a distant world raised his hand. "Ambassador, the claim you used illegal weapons, weapons that violate galactic treaties. Is this true?" Turned to face him. "Earth has never signed those treaties. We were never invited to join them. For 300 years, we have watched the Council make rules that benefited powerful species while ignoring weaker ones. We have watched empires conquer peaceful worlds while the Council did nothing. We have watched species disappear from the galaxy while the Council offered empty words of sympathy." Her voice grew harder. "So no, we did not follow your treaties. We built whatever weapons we needed to protect ourselves. We prepared for the day when someone would be stupid enough to attack our home. And when that day came, we were ready." The chamber went very quiet. "But we did not come here to threaten you," continued. Her tone softened slightly. "We came to make something clear. Earth does not want war. We have never invaded another world. We have never enslaved another species. We have never taken what was not ours." She looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of delegates from dozens of different worlds. "All we have ever wanted is to be left alone, to live in peace, to raise our children, to build our future. We do not wish to rule the galaxy. We do not wish to destroy other civilizations. We simply want to exist in safety without fear." General stepped forward. "The thought we were prey, they were wrong. We are not prey, we are not predators either. We are something else entirely." He paused. "We are survivors. We fight when we must. We defend what we love, and we never ever give up." Captain spoke next. Her voice was calm but carried across the entire chamber. "I commanded the fleet that destroyed the Armada. I watched thousands of enemy ships burn. I felt no joy in their deaths. War is not something humans celebrate. It is something we endure when peaceful options fail." She stepped closer to the edge of the platform. "But let me be clear about one thing. If anyone threatens Earth again, we will respond the same way. We will not negotiate. We will not compromise. We will not show mercy. Our home is sacred. Our people are precious. Anyone who forgets this will learn the same lesson the learned." The chamber remained silent. Ambassador from the Kel Federation finally stood up. "What do you want from the Council? What are you asking for?" Considered the question. "We want recognition. We want a permanent seat on this council. We want our voice to be heard in galactic affairs. And we want something else." "What?" "We want peace, not just for Earth but for everyone. For too long, powerful species have bullied weaker ones. For too long, empires have grown fat on conquest and slavery. This must end." Eyes burned with quiet fire. "Earth is prepared to help enforce peace across the galaxy, not through conquest but through protection. Any species that faces invasion can ask for our help. Any world threatened by aggression can call upon us." The delegates looked at each other in confusion. "You would protect other species?" Elder asked. "Why?" Smiled. It was a gentle smile, the first she had shown since entering the chamber. "Because it is the right thing to do. Because we know what it feels like to be threatened. Because no species should have to live in fear." She paused. "And because humans are not just survivors. We are also dreamers. We dream of a galaxy where all species can live in peace, where children do not grow up afraid of invasion, where the strong protect the weak instead of destroying them." General nodded. "This is what we offer. Not war but protection. Not conquest but partnership. Earth will stand beside any world that needs us." The chamber remained quiet for a long moment. Then slowly, a delegate from a small agricultural world began to applaud. Another joined him, then another, and another. Within seconds, the entire chamber was filled with applause. Thousands of delegates cheered, whistled, and stamped their feet. It was the loudest sound the council hall had ever heard. Elder raised his hands for silence. When the cheering finally stopped, he spoke. "Ambassador, on behalf of the Galactic Council, we accept your proposal. Earth will be given a permanent seat. Your voice will be heard, and your offer of protection. We accept it gratefully." Bowed her head slightly. "Thank you, we will not disappoint you." She turned to leave but paused at the edge of the platform. "One more thing. The Emperor has been sending messages to us. He is threatening revenge. He is promising to build a bigger fleet and return." The chamber went tense again. Smiled. "Tell him something for us. Tell him that we kept his high commander alive for a reason. We wanted a witness, someone who could tell the truth about what humans are capable of." Her smile faded. "Tell the Emperor this. If he sends another fleet, we will destroy it. And then we will come for him. We will find his palace. We will knock on his door. And we will remind him personally why attacking Earth was the worst decision his empire ever made." She walked out of the chamber. General, Captain, and the other human leaders followed. Behind them, the Galactic Council sat in stunned silence. Finally, Ambassador spoke. "Well, that was interesting." Elder shook his head slowly. "The galaxy has changed today. Nothing will ever be the same." "Is that a good thing?" asked. Thought about it for a long moment. Then he smiled. "I believe it is. For the first time in 1,000 years, I believe the future might actually be peaceful." He looked toward the door where the humans had exited. "Those strange, small, stubborn creatures, they might just save us all." Far across the galaxy, on the planet Earth, the sun rose over quiet cities. Children played in parks. Families ate breakfast together. Life continued as it always had. The people of Earth did not know it yet, but their world had just become the most important planet in the galaxy. Not because of weapons, not because of power, but because humans had shown the universe something it had never seen before, a species willing to fight and die for others, not just for themselves. That was the true lesson of the war. That was the message that would echo across the stars for generations to come. Humanity was not just dangerous, humanity was hope. And the galaxy would never forget it.